Everyone has had that moment when your coworker recommends either a show or music to listen to. It's either going to be the greatest, most magnificent piece of art to come out of the modern era. Almost like if Picasso and Da Vinci got isekai'd into this world with stats maxed out on art again. Or foul, disgusting filth, the likes of which resembles the average post to come out of P. Lobotomy Kaiser.
Prime Dax.
How you let you be my dad?
Point is, you never know what you're gonna get. And so you can imagine my reaction when my bro Jay recommended this manhwa to me. I didn't trust it, but that night, I did something. Something that went against every fiber of my bones. I actually gave it a try. If it was bad, hey, it's whatever. I'll just gouge my eyes out with brake fluid, then light them on fire. But if it was good, oh, if it was good.
Try this question on for size. A war has broken out. One side has an army of 37,463 soldiers. Their opponent has 100,000. Which side do you think won? Come on, someone answer this. As your teacher, I've got to say my feelings are hurt.
The First Army.
Because?
37,463. A group that knows its exact force down to the very last soldier. Won't lose to a simple army of 100,000.
Ding ding, we have a winner. Never forget, knowledge is mightier than power. Only one who knows that can become a knight.
And just like that, I was hooked. Now, I've never drank a drop of the tipsy juice, never snorted the wasabi sugar, nor have I ever psychotically inserted needles into my arm. But if I ever did, this shit felt like 30 lines of coke all at once with 10 shots of straight rubbing alcohol with vodka as a chaser. I blacked out. Normally I'd be dead, but that's besides the point. 200 chapters, I woke up and looked back only to witness the absolute peak, the cosmos that I had just traversed, eagerly waiting for someone to give me amnesia so I could do it all over again. Now, why did it hit so hard? For me to explain that, allow me to present Steph Curry. I promise you it'll all make sense in a second. 26,447 points and counting scored over his whole career. If that were kilometers, it would be 2.08 times longer than the diameter of the Earth. If that were weeks, it would be 72 years. If that were, you get the point. With 43% being threes. Do you know how much that is? That's 11,372 shots, all greener than the grass that you've obviously never touched in your life. And because it's Curry, it's normal to him. But I dare every single one of you to go outside right now and try get 10 threes in a row. Sit your ass back down. You know damn well. The point I'm taking eons to make right now is this. If any one of us plebeians were to go on a streak, such as Curry did in 2016 versus OKC and hit 46 points, 11 threes, and a logo game winner to top it off, it would be seen as luck. Now I'll start off saying that none of these shots are luck. In fact, they are a series of calculated moves that to the naked eye just looks like this shit.
Kenobi, when do we get to the part where you actually talk about the manhwa?
Fine. Ember Knight is a story that takes everything you know about shonen, flips it on its head, and fucking... This manhwa is a story that follows a young dude named Nagyun, who has a twin brother, Najin. Najin is the talk of the town. Prodigy, top of his class at the Knight Academy. Everyone loves Najin. Nagyun, on the other hand, is scum of the earth. He's bullied by all the kids his age and sucks at everything. No one in the village is even willing to give him a job except for this guy, and even he undercuts him for just breathing the wrong way. But all this hate isn't without reason. See, years ago, for reasons unknown, Nagyun decided to burn the village down. Every house in sight, none was spared. All this hate has led Nagyun to develop a skill to completely hide all of the pain on his face, as if he were to let out a scream or shout. It would only drive the villagers further into a frenzy. For Nagyun, the only place he feels safe is with his brother. Because, well, he's his brother, but also, he's the only one who really knows what happened that night. So one day, as they're normally entering their house, a group of masked bandits ambush them with the intent of killing Najin, which they ultimately succeed in doing, not without making Nagyun deliver the final blow. And with this, they leave with chilling words.
Our work is done here. Gideon's flame has been extinguished. Only ash remains.
And as his brother's corpse lays there, he stirs up the resolve to take on his brother's identity and to get revenge on those that killed his brother. Mind you, all of this, Chapter 3. Now I forgot to mention something earlier. Nagyun is absolute trash. He has absolutely no physical talent at all. In fact, the manhwa mentions that Najin is a once in a lifetime generational prodigy that only comes once every 100 or so years. Nagyun is the absolute lack thereof. This main character doesn't have super speed, super strength, super whatever that is, but what he does have is a Tommy Shelby level poker face, the observational skills of an autistic kid with ADHD whose special interest is photographically analyzing the emotions of anyone around him, and Aizen levels of aura.
Did he just use Conqueror's Haki?
Nagyun is like if Subaru and someone with Deku's intelligence on how to maximize the power that they have were to come into one person. But in this case, there's no respawn, and he has to get it right every single time. Example, random girl you've never met dashes in front of you, sticks her hands out, greets you with a long time no see in this face. You don't know her name. You're already suspecting everyone around you as an accomplice, and she seems like she has a deep relationship with the person you're impersonating. If you respond with, yeah, it's been a long time, and you've never actually met before, then fine. If you ignore her, but you do have a deep relationship, then fine. These are the types of situations that Nagyun is getting himself into all the time, and watching to see what he comes up with to find a loophole and worm out of the situation is so addictive. Even if you know he's gonna worm out of it, there's still a slim chance he doesn't. Remember Steph Curry? Watching him feels the exact same way, down to the last minute details. Pause. That's Wemby, the tallest dude in the NBA right now. Curry is statistically under the average height for a basketball player, and yet, green. Again, two people jump. Both of these people is above average height. Curry isn't. Green.
Double team. Logo 3. Green.
There's a reason why this is so addictive, and Ember Knight does this incredibly well, but not without its fault. There are several times where things just seem to line up in his favor, such as this moment when they're about to leave to meet the other knights, but the other knights decide to come and meet them where they're at. It's small stuff like that that make me go, well, that's just awfully convenient. But I also understand that some of these choices had to be made to advance the story forward. Now, everything I've said might make you think that because he isn't brute forcing his way through every fight, it's just a talking match and he sneaks away, escaping like a 2000s cartoon villain, laughing maniacally to see another day. But no. Ember Knight still finds a way to throw him into some crazy fights. The fights in this manhwa are so well illustrated, it might as well be watching the anime. It's like the illustrator was storyboarding the actual anime and we're just seeing freeze frames. Every fight sets a stage, stakes, and a scene. You were on the edge of your seat, nibbling on the greatest tasting eye candy you've ever seen. The art style doesn't stay the same, but evolves as the manhwa goes on, giving you this feeling of growth with the characters. And the characters in this manhwa feel real. Every knight you come across is so unique, it's bonkers. They each care for their apprentices in their own way. Sometimes tearful, sometimes educated, sometimes a little psychotic, but nonetheless, these characters are so enjoyable to read, you can't help but flip the page and continue reading. There is so much I could talk about right now, but I urge you, just like Jay did to me, to go. Take some time out of your day and read Ember Knight. It won't disappoint.